Good morning. I wanted to announce that I'm going to support Mitt Romney for president. And the reason I'm going to do it, because I understand Mormons, being born into the Mormon church and in Utah, better than I do other candidates. Rick Santorum I considered because he's very strong pro-life. But I don't understand his religion as well. So I felt that I could help Mitt Romney a lot more than I could help Rick Santorum. And it looks like Mitt Romney might have the better chance of becoming the candidate. So I'm sure you're wondering how I could help Mitt Romney coming from the ranks of the very, very poor.
Yes, but I'm wondering about myself. That was a pitch,
help
right?
the very, very rich. Well,
Yeah.
that's just it.
Remember there used to be something like
That's why I can help
Please
him.
don't help me. Please don't help me.
Because I can, with methods that I developed from my background, my Mormon ancestors helped give me gifts that I can help Mitt Romney.
And these are spiritual gifts?
Yes, they are. Oh, yes,
you can just
definitely.
Go through the air and
I've talked about my Mormon grandmothers and who were saints. This is why they call Mormons saints, because of the women, and especially the women that had to put up with polygamy.
No, wait a second.
They were absolute saints. They had to be.
Yes, but I have a question here, okay? I believe that most of the saints in the New Testament were guys.
Well, in this case,
there wasn't any Saint Mary.
In this case, the saints
there was Saint James, Saint
were the
John,
women
Saint Peter,
who were long-suffering. They had to be
Jesus,
patient.
Jesus.
And my grandmother, on my mother's side, she was raised in polygamy, and so I used to go to her and hear the tales because I was just horrified with polygamy. I just knew that I didn't have the patience or the submissive nature that I would have made a good wife for a polygamist. Oh, and so I talked to my grandmother, and my grandmother, this grandmother, was so saintly. She just seemed unreal to me. I never heard her say a mean word to anyone. She was always kind. Imagine being kind all day long, every day.
Be kind to your web-footed
Oh, yeah.
friends. Hey, duck, maybe somebody's mother.
Yeah. And in fact, people used to make fun of her. She was so good. And so
Yeah, it reminds me of an old statement like, this woman wouldn't say, if she had a mouthful
never.
Of it, you know?
Oh, never.
She
I
would
doubt.
never say,
I
if she had a
doubt. In
mouthful
fact,
of it.
I remember my awful dad. She came to live with them when she was old for a little while. And my dad said something to her that she had never had said, I'm sure, in her whole life. She was protected by her husband and her sons to keep her always from being subjected to anything vulgar, bad. And we were talking to my dad about his drinking days, and the fact that he still would go on a bender every now and then. So he addressed my grandmother and mother and said, my grandmother said, "You're a bunch of goddamn liars." And
what did you say?
when I heard that, my dad talking to my grandmother like this, I thought, oh. And she in fact, I suppose, told her people, and they just packed her up and got her out of there. And so anyway, you want to know, I'm thinking a lot about how I can help Romney. I can't possibly tell you all the ways right in just one little video, but I'm blogging about it. I'm going to make more videos as time goes on how I'm going to try to help him. From this grandmother who was very in touch with the spirit, I received a gift, and my mother got a gift from her. And they had the gift, like my mother would start going like, I have some bad feelings. Someone is going to die, and I don't know. And I'd go, oh, Mom, what? Who? Well, it feels like, you know, and she would go in her mind, and she would get these impressions, and she could tell around her there was, and it would always be someone, she would say herself, it's someone who's close to me, but not, you know, not a relative or a friend, more like a friend. And so I would go listen to her for several, possibly 2 weeks before, 3 maybe, before this happened. And I would just be so alarmed. Who's gonna die? And sure enough, someone would die that she was close to, and she'd say that was her.
Did she make any money doing that?
No, but that was a psychic gift. And
no, wait a second. Let me just hold it just a second here.
They didn't make money. They didn't try to make money with these gifts.
The point I'm trying to make is that people die all the time, around you, away from you, on the other side of the world.
Oh, yes.
But the part of it is, if you can say, this person is going to get pregnant and have a kid. Now that's a gift right there.
Well, they not only had that kind of gift, but I noticed.
If the person's 5 months old,
when I got older, that I also would get feelings, trouble feelings would come into my mind, and I could do the same thing my mother could. I could identify those feelings with someone in danger, and I would say, someone's in danger. Someone is, and I remember one time I got those feelings, and a young man who was ailing, and
how young was he?
Oh, he was in his late 20s, and people just didn't think that what he had was serious. It turned out to be this young man, and I had practically identified him because he lived in the town next to us. And as soon as he died, was found dead, I thought, oh, that was who I was getting. So this was the beginning of my recognition that I had these psychic gifts, and my sister has them very much so too. And in fact, all my sisters had them to a certain degree. So I can help. Your dad didn't have it? I can help Romney.
How come your dad didn't have it?
Well, you can imagine he had a bad attitude that he had developed through his drinking years. Defiant. He was defensive about it.
This man died leaving 7 figures.
Yes,
that's a lot of money.
He did, and he did. He was a very smart man. He knew how to make money, and he knew. And this is another reason.
6 more figures.
I was very surprised when he said he was going to vote for Romney because he.
I did not say that.
Well, what'd you say?
I said I am going to vote Republican.
Oh, yes.
The reason I'm going to do that is if anybody wants to know, how do you like this outfit, folks? She picked it out for me.
Would you please?
The reason I'm going to do this is that I'm not voting against the Democratic Party or whoever's going to be there, is that I think we need basically a change. I've seen the dumbing down of America for the past 25 years, and we've got so many people who just think the government is supposed to keep paying their way. And the government is not designed to do that. See, I had to work most of my life, and the reason I had to work is because that was the work ethic. You know, I'm Protestant. Catholics have a work ethic too. Mormons have a work ethic. But if you start getting different area,
Mormons, nobody was going to help Mormons. So they're going to have to help
obviously,
themselves.
I'm done with my dissertation here.
They were going to help themselves. So Utah is full of very industrious people.
That's not industrious. They had no choice.
No, they had no choice. That was how they were going to survive.
That's right. Hard scrabble land, you know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Like when
they were going to have to,
when
as Brigham Young said.
Yeah, I know. Brigham Young said, I don't care how you
he's
bring
going to turn the
just
desert.
Brigham Young, baby.
He's going to turn the desert into a rose.
Yeah,
and he
right.
did. He did.
No, he didn't.
He did too. He turned. In fact, Mormons have rose gardens all over Utah. So, anyway, and one of the ways that I'm going to try to help Mitt Romney is to help him find the path to the Spirit. Now, if you are very conscious of the Spirit, and that is what you connect to, are connected to, you cannot possibly accept a solution that is violent, for the fetus. So abortion is against
Yeah, but suppose that's on the back
beliefs,
burner, okay?
and neither is Catholic.
But suppose it's on the back burner. Nobody
It can't
cares
be on the
about it
back.
except
Oh, you're the one that doesn't care about it.
No, I think
Mormons care
females
about
I think
it.
females should have the right
Rick
to do whatever they
Santorum
want.
is extremely strong pro-life. In fact, he is so strong that I
here's the point I'm
pray
trying to make.
that people are not going to vote for him. They're going to vote more for the man who has made a lot of money, because that's capitalism, that's industry, that's looking out for yourself. And I think a lot of people respect that, Republicans, and think that as he said, the Democrats are too much for handouts, for taking care of people, the welfare state, which has resulted in an astronomical national debt that we can hardly even pay. So
I
that's
don't
another
believe you
reason.
and I are paying anything toward it, are we?
No, I don't think
We're
so.
on dole, aren't we?
Yes, senior citizens are now become notorious for running up thousands and thousands of dollars in medical costs. Just dying. I mean, you could die and it could cost
Yeah, but see,
a fourth of $1 million before.
You're missing the point here. The point of it is that the government should keep its nose out of. If you want medical insurance, you should be able to afford to pay for it. If you can't, you don't get it.
Oh, well,
So that's
Medicare.
socialism state.
They are used to Medicare and drug costs paid. Now, Mormons.
No, you know who's used to it?
Very
It's the
much.
doctors and
Mormons did
hospitals.
not want anybody to go on welfare, because they would say, well,
That's why they had
if
so
you're
many
hungry,
lives.
we will help you.
Yeah,
so
that's why
a
they
lot
got
of people
lives.
would turn to the Mormon church for help when they got in trouble. And this is one reason why if you get on welfare or food stamps or anything in Utah, you'll have people are much more judgmental about it. They're looking like, oh, what are you buying with those food stamps? Steak? Oh! They will take an interest. See, and that's another thing is
I have no idea where this conversation is
Mormons
going.
recognize
I'm not even sure
that you
where
have
to
to
begin.
manage. You have to manage the poor. You have to keep them from doing what has happened in our national government is welfare to people is breaking the government, and it was
It already
bound to.
broke the government.
Yes, it's broken it. It's bound to if it gets out of control. If people don't have any
It is out of
responsibility, it is
control.
out of control. I know it is. It's like they give, people are granted government disability because they have their addiction has.
No, that's bullshit.
has
All you have to
paralyzed
do is
them.
act like you're nuts and you get a check.
Yes, well, and also your addiction can bring you there. I mean, you could sit and eat and eat and eat
Well,
until
no, wait a minute.
you're like this,
I drink booze,
and then
but
you
nobody pays me for
can't
that.
walk. You're disabled. You can fry your brains on drugs or alcohol, and somebody will get you a disability check. You can take heroin, and before long, you're ended up in living their life of Riley. Now, is
No,
this
the life of Riley's bullshit. What you do is you get methadone.
you get
forever.
methadone, you get housing, and sometimes these heroin addicts have been thieves and such crooks that
Sometimes, what are you talking about?
they can't live in they can't even be given all this. They will violate it. They will do something that they shouldn't do, and
Like what?
because they've
Kill
been
somebody?
well, and they'll get evicted, and then they will get
Then
thrown
they'll go
out. But they
someplace
probably won't get.
And then they'll get evicted again and go someplace else and they'll get evicted again.
Yeah, so the attitude toward it's almost, the Democrats are now being accused of rewarding bad behavior, rewarding it. I mean,
They do.
Went from helping people. Now, I helped this alcoholic to live a better life, and I've been accused of indulging him,
Yes, you have.
enabling him. Well, am I or am I not?
Yes,
My
you
father
have.
was an alcoholic, and I always helped. I didn't want my father to commit suicide, which he almost did on any number of occasions, and his daughters worked very hard trying to keep him from doing that. Why? Because he was a smart man, he was a valuable worker, and he went on to cut down his drinking and to make quite a lot of money. That's why he was able to, when he died, he left a fairly large estate, close to $1 million. And I was already crippled from my childhood of stress and strain and his drinking. So his money helped take care of me for about 12 years. As I know, he felt extremely guilty about what he'd done to his children.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he did. He knew very well. And hell, I had a nervous breakdown at 12 years old. He knew beyond a shadow of a doubt because he got drunk on rubbing alcohol in a twisted attempt, I thought, to kill himself. And
Or another attempt that your mother was trying to help.
well, she lost all patience. She
let's not
just
go
wanted
into
to
that.
push him over.
Let's not go into that.
But
I mean,
I always looked, and Mormons, of course, are very much against
that's the 2-minute
drinking,
warning.
and they are apt to be a little cruel, even in their determination not to indulge people who abuse substances. Which I applaud. I think that's a great attitude, but you've got to be careful not to get too carried away and want to go push them all off a cliff. Okay.
That's what they did to buffaloes in the old days. Just ran right off the cliff.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys.
This is a worthless.
Get that carcass and clean it up now.
And I didn't agree. I said, no, my father is not, don't push him over a cliff. We'll be destitute, and we would have been. They wouldn't have been able to take care of us. Not like he did. So, you have to figure these things out. And this guy, he still seems to have some worth. So he's going to be with me. I will, not really with me. I'm just talking to him and trying to think about all of these. So.
Well, you have convinced me.
I'm looking forward
You have convinced
to
me
the
that
campaign.
I am one of the biggest a-holes you've ever seen in your life.
Yes, I do try to convince him of that as we go along. I try
Now I am
to
thoroughly
get him
convinced.
to be realistic.
Now I'm thoroughly
But
convinced.
what can I say?
That's
I
right.
developed these beefy arms. He said I'm the fattest woman he has ever had anything to do with. He doesn't like that kind of indulgence.
No, I did not say that. That is not what I said.
You said it many times. You just may
I
have
had no-
forgotten.
no comments
beefy
about your
arms.
arms, okay.
Oh, I said they were
I was
beefy.
making over the whole.
But how can I
Oh,
say I'm
right.
perfect? How can I? It would be a little bit hard. So we'll be looking forward to visiting you again
yes,
as the
yes.
campaign heats up.
Boy, this is exciting. I hope I'm
Woo.
still alive when it happens.
Woo! Okay.
I'm done.